us about hiring a strong negotiator when it comes to a real estate transaction.
It's probably one of the most important traits you could find in a real estate agent. We are no longer the gatekeepers of information. Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, all the information, all the homes and properties that are for sale, those are out there. County information, crime statistics, everyone has access to the internet and the web. That is not as hugely important as far as finding a real estate agent that is that has access to that information, because we all have access to that information. But strong negotiating skills are hugely important. If you have an agent that can support with statistics why a home is worth something or why a home is not worth something, that makes a big difference to the buyer or the seller that you're representing. A few months ago, I had a situation where a non-local agent, a carry agent, listed a log home in the Pittsburgh market. And log homes are pretty special, and not everybody has ever sold a log home before. And so this particular agent was what I would say was on the upper end of the market spectrum, and they might have been a little bit over the market spectrum, but not if you compared all houses of that size and acreage. But with a log home, they were over that. And so without trying to be too offensive, I asked that agent whether or not they had ever sold a log home before, and they admitted that they had not. And I was able to tell that agent that there were some particulars about a log home. Most of the people that are willing, first of all, only 20% of the market is willing to live in a log home. So you're removing 80% of the buyers. Of those 20% that are willing to live in a log home, 75% of those wish to build it themselves. It's the Lincoln log fantasy. Everybody wants to be part of that build out process. So it's only 5% of the market that is willing to live in a resale log home. Because of that, I was able to show that agent that the offer that we were coming in with was adequate and fair. So I felt as though our negotiation skills certainly helped our buyer in that situation. That's a situation where working as a buyer, strong negotiation skills help. As a seller, strong negotiation skills will help as well. We have clients and agents that have access to Zillow and Zestimates. So you have a house for sale for $400,000, and they pull up the Zillow or the Zestimate, and it says this house is worth $260,000. Well, what they don't realize is within that data pool, there are a bunch of single wides and double wides that lower that. But if you were just to extrapolate the stick-built homes, our $400,000 asking price was fair. So you have to have access to that data to be able to negotiate with the other agent. Then the thing that I think the negotiation skills really come into big play is with repair issues. When we go through inspections and we have due diligence issues, it's very important that we represent our clients to the best of our abilities. So recently I had a situation where we had a septic tank that was close to the house that didn't meet county guidelines. And this agent, again from Cary, not familiar with septic issues, was adamant that my seller had to dig up that septic tank and have it moved. It probably would have cost them several $1,000s to do that. Well, I think part of my negotiation skills were I have a relationship with county health department and environmental health inspections, and I said, okay, this is non-compliant, but somehow you guys approved it. What are the risks of that tank being close to the house? Are you ever going to condemn it? Are you ever going to make us move it? They said, oh, no. And so I was able to tell that other agent, look, this is a non-issue. My seller is not going to fix this, and let me tell you why it's not an issue. And so I felt as though, again, my negotiation skills helped save my seller thousands of dollars. I think it's hugely important that as an agent, we're not mean to the other agent. I don't think you need to belittle them. I don't think you need to talk down to them. I think part of being a strong negotiator is to help people realize what the win is. And, the win is that buyer is buying a house that they want, that seller is selling a house that they want to sell. We need for people to be aware of the facts, but there's no reason to attack people, and there's no reason to belittle people to make them feel bad about it. That's not I don't think that's a strong negotiator. Just because you're tough and mean doesn't necessarily make you a good negotiator. A good negotiator gets the deal done, and I think that's one of the things. After having hundreds of sales over the span of almost 20 years now, I think that's what an agent that has strong negotiation skills brings to the table.